to another group of people who are moving in a direction that I want to move in for the second half of my life. So, hey, that is what it is, right? So, I'm now talking to a lot of people online, a lot of people virtually. I'm talking to a lot of programmers and business people and tons and tons and tons of entrepreneurs to create the life that I want, right? Tons of authors I'm talking to, tons of speakers that I'm talking to. And this all um, helps me to create the best me, right? I'm not trying to copy or emulate people. I'm trying to get as much information as possible so I can develop myself to become what I want. I have an idea of what I want, and I hope you guys have an idea of what you want for your life. And once you do, and once you lock that in, you can begin to move, right, in the direction that you need to move in to shape and mold your life, okay, to be the life that you truly want it to be. So, um, my mentor told me to ask myself this question, and I have it in my mentor manifesto as well, is what are some of the steps that you can take to start developing your skills after your 9 to 5, right? So, as I've said, everybody may not be in law enforcement. So, if you're not in law enforcement, then you're probably not retired right now in your 50 plus years, right? So, if you're in a regular job, a corporate, or maybe you started in your career late, you have to figure out what you can do after work, right, to begin to find out what you truly want to do for the rest of your life, right? Um, I tell every single person that I meet, every single person that I coach, that it is very, very important for you to seek entrepreneurship, right? And why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because when you become an entrepreneur, what you what you begin to take on is responsibility, right? And responsibility is probably the most powerful thing that you can develop when it comes to being a great employee, right? For someone else. So um, you need to develop that because if you decide you're going to start your own business, right, and you're working for a company, and let's say you're going to go all in and you give them your 2 weeks notice. If they don't care, then you're probably going to fail the first time around in your business, right? Because you're probably a horrible employee that they're probably glad to get rid of, and that is not what you want, right? Do you really want that? You want when you leave for you to be an asset to your company when you leave, so that they are disappointed that you decide to venture out on your own. That is what you truly want. You want to be an asset. You want to be a person of growth. You want to be a person that encourages others, right? You want to be the magnetic force, right, that helps your company or whoever you're working for, right, to see in you a person that constantly builds other people up, including the company, including the mission, including your boss, okay, people below you and people above you. That is the type of person that you want to become, right? And once you begin to become that person, your natural progression is going to be entrepreneurship. Your natural progression is going to be, hey, I did all this for my boss. I did all this for all the other employees. I did all this for my manager. I can do all this for myself. And that is when it begins to click. That is when you start to become the best that you can be, okay? Not for anybody else, but because it is important to you to become a person who constantly strives to be the best they can be. This is what changed my life, guys. This changed my life exponentially. It changed my thought patterns. It changed my enthusiasm. It changed my relationships. It changed my financial status. Okay, it changed everything. Everything about me. Because I became the person who always strives to be more, do more, and give more. And and that's important, right? It's not about just learning the skills. It's about becoming the person. So if you get knocked down 10 times trying to become the person, you know, failing at what you're trying to get a business or whatever, I suggest to you get up again to be knocked down, whether it's 11, 12, or 20, because you are developing yourself to become a person of resilience. That's right, a person of resilience, okay? And you're also developing yourself to be a true entrepreneur who failure doesn't matter to you. Failure doesn't phase you, right? You don't get overly emotional about failure. You know that it is part of the process. And if it's part of the process, then guys, that is something that you just need to go ahead and hurry up and get through and get it over with. Get it over with. Fail forward. That's all I ask you guys to do. Fail forward in creating the life that you want. So, um, most of us are living the 9 to 5 nightmare, right? And a long time ago, I talked about in one of my blogs the golden handcuffs. Um, I want to help you guys get from the golden handcuffs to millionaire, right? I want to get from the golden handcuffs to millionaire. Okay, I happen to no longer be in the golden handcuffs, but I am still along the process of becoming who I want to become, which is the millionaire, right? And you guys are going to be following me along as you guys check out my podcast. You probably won't be jumping on my podcast. You're probably well on to episode 100, 200, who knows, guys, whenever you jump on my podcast. But, right, when you're on my podcast and it's episode 365, right, which is one of the milestones that I set for myself, make sure that you go back to this podcast, episode 76, right, episode 76, August, I keep saying April, August 24th, 2021. Go back to this podcast and match up where I am and what I'm doing and check out all of my platforms and all of my books and media and courses and everything else that I've done. Okay, okay, from there where you're probably hopping on my podcast a year later and now, right, April 24th, I'm letting you guys know that before I started this podcast today, I was dealing with some emotional issues. Emotional issues because I was trying a couple of things and they weren't working out for me, right? Um, and that went to all aspects of my life, right? Because it wasn't working out for me in business, it's disrupted my health a little bit. You know, kind of slowed up my workout, even though I ended up getting my workout because I think my workout is locked in as far as who I am. So I just work out anyway, whether I'm depressed or not. But it affected my relationship with my wife. You know, I just really didn't. I wasn't connecting the way I should, and so it sent out a negative energy vibe because I wasn't feeling 100%. And I believe that it affected my finance. It affected my finance because I believe that if I would have forged ahead and maybe even not tried to figure it out, but figured out who knew how to figure it out, I could have got through that milestone today and not had to carry that burden uh, throughout my entire day, which then disrupted so many things. But guys, I want to tell you guys this, right? If you are trapped in the golden handcuffs, barely getting by, um, uh, it is mostly because you were trained that way. It is not your fault, right? Our education system has trained us to become the person, right, who is a 9 to 5 person. They trained us how to work for someone else, right, and to follow instructions and to wait for the brute in order to move forward. Our educational system has taught us this for